going on, YouTube? Good day. Going round and round in circles as usual. No consistency, no logical thought. On a Tuesday throwdown rant for all the neoconservatives, conservatives that keep trying to justify actions but not being consistent. This whole border thing, everybody's up in arms that these governors are saying they're not going to release troops, the National Guard, to guard the border, to assist the Border Patrol. And they keep doing mental gymnastics around the whole thing, saying the governors either have to release their National Guard, they have no choice, the president has dictatorial authority, or they say that the army can't enforce posse comitatus because it's the Posse Comitatus Act violation to bring the army back and guard the border, etc., etc. You can't have it both ways. If you activate the National Guard, that is the army. They are activated as the army when brought forth, if you want to consider them even nothing more. I mean, they're nothing more than the army anyway, but to even have that sliver of separation that they are somehow state forces that are federalized, which they're not. They're federalized always. Is trying to do mental games with the whole thing just to try to get political points, and you're falling for it. Everybody's falling for this political game of continuing division. So you tell them that, hey, the president's got a 1.3 million man army that he can dip into and use whatever he wants, essentially, to do these things, and yet he can't do that. Well, posse comitatus. Wait, the National Guard's going to do it. It's the same thing. What's the difference? There is no difference. So why can't you bring the army back? Posse comitatus. No. If you want to say they can't help the Border Patrol in their sliver of what you consider legal, that's, their National Guard is being brought in to assist them anyway. You can do the army using the same way. Bring in logistics people, all these things. They're using them for intelligence, whatnot, etc. Two, though, if you can't bring the army in to defend the border from an invasion, what good are they? Why would you have them? Posse comitatus doesn't affect the enforcement of international borders. That's protecting sovereignty of the nation from invasion. If you can't do that with the army, what can you do? Why even discuss it? It's like ineffectual. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't pass the common sense test. So you've got 1.3 million troops he can use, but yet he can't scrounge up 5,000 or 6,000 to go do this job that he's trying to get the National Guard to go do? Are you kidding me? It's a joke. We have people engaged in things they shouldn't be engaged in foreign countries, and we're going to weaken the nation by pulling people out of their normal everyday jobs, bringing them down to the southern border to do a temporary job down there for a period of time. You're going to have a lot of dead weight loss in the economy, other negative effects other than the federalization issue. If he was serious about it, he wouldn't have to worry about the governors. If it was a big enough issue, if it was important, you could make it happen, and it'd be perfectly legal, no problems. Because if the army can't defend the borders, then they're worthless. Disband them anyway, which we shouldn't have a standing army to begin with, but that's a congressional issue because they shouldn't fund it. But that's a whole other problem brought on by the 19th century. So we won't get into the historical perspective of that. But just a Tuesday throwdown for you. I'm tired of it. Don't give credit, don't give passes to people just because to score political points and people you don't like necessarily. Kate Brown's an idiot in Oregon. Agreed. But withholding National Guard, if you don't keep them within the realm of the state, then what's the use of even having them there, and that to have to ask for them to begin with if the president just snaps his fingers? It's not the way it works. Live free.